Coach, obviously not the result you would have hoped to see in your club's final game this afternoon against the Senators, but just sort of when you take a look at the big picture of this group and what they sort of brought to the season, just how will you look back on this season for your club?
Oh, it was amazing. Didn't know what to expect really, and we got to know each other, and they started to get to know the system, but the work ethic was outstanding the whole year. Guys got better. We worked on different things, system wise, yes, but a lot of skills, practices, and competing days, and keeping it interesting for the players. But it such a different season. Just the way we move around the team and the way we manage the team, and how we communicate with the players was just so different. But we're all new to this. What I know is, and what I'm really grateful is, for the players to be committed like they were for the full season. Grateful for the management and the ownership for investing and believing in us. The fact that we played 36 games is an achievement. That's a big investment, and that's a belief in the culture of our team, that developing, draft and develop, and working with those guys. I think it was a great year for development, and our team was outstanding the whole year. I mean, tonight doesn't even count in my book. I can tell when the team's got no legs and no more gas in the tank, and that was the case tonight. We just couldn't generate anything. So tonight is not a reflection of our season whatsoever. Been working hard, pushed them hard. They responded well. Could have been in so many ways way different this year. But I have to admit that it's been an amazing season for us, and the coaches and the players, and the way we've managed this whole thing could have been better.
You talked about development, and one of those players, of course, who really seemed to develop this year was Cole Meyer, set a new AHL career high in goals. And, due to injuries, obviously, he was one of the guys wearing a letter in this final stretch of games. But just how valuable is Cole, whether it's, with some of the younger guys in the room or on the ice, just been this season to the club?
Yeah, he's Cole is a very, very intelligent person, great leadership skills, hardworking man. And he's a captain. He's got those the leadership skills to bring the group together. Just in the way he plays, he was physical this year. He was going to the net. He was good on the penalty kill, winning big faceoffs for us. And he's a guy that his mindset is quite inclusive. He brings people to the fight, and there's a certain way about how he does things that is tells me that he's a great leader. So he's had a good season. He's a good player, improved from one year to the other, and you can tell he's a guy that is studying the game, and he's working on his personal skills, and just physically got stronger and better. So was a real key player for us, and a good leader.
We'll go next to Dave Minuk. Go ahead, Dave.
Coach, it's one of those things that, like you said, this game is probably not reflective of the way your team has looked. You lost Cole Perfetti, you lost Leon, you lost Johnny. You've had a number of guys go down to, whether it's injury or lose them. But yet this season, and again, like I said, irrespective of today's game, but this season, especially in the last run, right? 10, 2, 1, and 2 in your last 15 games. You've just had new players step up and take advantage of opportunity. You said it earlier with respect to Nathan Todd. I mean, earlier in the season to me, just needed the door open. How many players, and I'm not asking you to list them all, but how many players have taken advantage this season of that open door that you guys have offered?
Well, the question is how many players didn't take advantage of it, Dave? I mean, they all of them at some point we needed them to step up, and they all did in their ways. And it's been a real interesting season because you don't know what to expect, and that's for a coach. That's the hardest part. And we had different scenarios going into the season. and we didn't. At the end of the day, we didn't know what to expect. So like you're thinking about Nathan Todd, yes, and Jeff Malott, we didn't know him at all, and a guy like Hayden Shaw and taking advantage. I mean, we could name all of them. And it started in practices, really, because we had blocks of practices and we could see, like, we evaluate our practices and we communicate quite a bit, the coaching staff. And after every practices, we talk about our players and we were meeting after practices and saying, well, that was a pretty good practice. The guys are pushing themselves. They sustained the pace and at times we pushed them hard. And it was it's been a great year for our team, the organization, and for us to evaluate different players, like playing against teams with 6 veterans. And Dave, you know as much as anyone in this league, having veterans is a difference maker. We didn't play with any veterans for the last portion of the season. So the guys were stepping up. So a lot of guys, when we're going to reflect and do our final evaluations and go back on our notes and talk amongst the coaching staff and the management, a lot of guys will have great reports. They've took advantage of their chances.